Hello, good morning, guys. Welcome to our channel. This is Praful, and with me, as usual, Kenny. Hi, Kenny.
Hey, Praful. What are we looking at today?
Today we'll look a little bit different thing. CSS property like transform and translate. So we'll discuss about the uses of it. So if you see in this example, if I change the slider, so this box is moving in the right direction. If I change the slider, it is going down. Or if I check this, it is going, or just one direction. So to get used to it, so I have used one translate property. If you can see in this example, we have like one box. This box can be any HTML elements. I've created a division tag. So, or it can be an SVG, rectangle, or any object. Okay. So if you can give like, we can give pass one parameter. So we can translate it along the x-axis or the horizontal axis. Okay. Or vertically the y-axis. So the first parameter, if whatever you give, 200 pixel, so it will move towards this x-axis or horizontal axis.
Got it.
Or if you pass two parameter, like then it will go x and y both axes. The example we see in there, it is going this direction. So this is and this moving the position, also it can be used for animation or drag drop utilities and several use cases. And there are other alternative use mostly like giving absolute position and top left, top right. So this can be also achieved like giving absolute position, like we can control this top left index, then also we can move it.
Yeah.
And this translate.
Is there any difference?
Translate is introduced recently, not very recently, it may be 5-10 years back, but also good browser support. Maybe i8 or below that doesn't support this transform. But this absolute positioning is performance-wise, this translate is much more better.
Okay.
Because absolute will do much more like, page, what to say, painting. Like this rendering would happen very slowly. It is, but for a small animation, you won't see any difference. But for the larger animation or bulk of the thing is going on here, there, it is recommended to use transform and translate.
Okay. Okay.
This translate is very simple property. It will move the object either in the x direction or in the y direction, x or y or both or one at a time. Okay.
Okay.
So I just mix a React to the thing just to give some interactivity. It is not very much essential, but I'll go through the code. So this is here we have the box. This is the box. This is the division with written hello. And if you see a style, it is given very simple width and height 100 pixel just to give a box and some greenish color. Nothing fancy over here.
Okay. Okay.
Just to see, so this translate in the CSS. I am always confused between this transform and translate. And transform is the left side property name. Wherever we individually translate is one attribute or one function, we can say. See, so transform is like width, height, background color, like this transform is there. And translate is kind of, you can say, a CSS function.
Okay.
So if you give 100 pixel, let me save it. Okay, that style property is getting overridden. Let me first.
So it is working like the initial position is default, and then from that it is translating.
Yeah, initial position would be 0, or whichever the normal document flow. From that position,
Okay.
it will translate, and we don't need to specify. I don't think we need to specify any, relative position, absolute, or anything.
Okay.
But I'm thinking it can be only applicable for, let's try block level element. Span, I think whether it will allow or not, let me see it. Yeah, I was clear about it. Span
Just
or
quick question in that CSS, do you have dot box or div dot box?
only dot box
Dot box. Okay.
with the ID with the dot box,
All right.
because this color is applied, right? So the CSS is applied.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So this translate or transform property cannot be applied to a inline element. Span in an inline element, and division is a block level element.
Yeah.
So this can be used as a block level element. Let's change it to again to division. Yeah, so translate. So if you want to translate both x-axis as well as y-axis, yeah, it gone to x-axis is 100 pixel and down it went to 200 pixel, both the direction.
Okay, so this same thing you are trying to trigger with that slider option.
Yeah, because that looks very interesting and funny. So I was just changing this with slider and updating the axis, y-axis. Similar way you can use this programming concept to do some animation and kind of much more dynamically. Because you may see lots of options, right? In like any designer tool, you change the slider and this is moving, or it is width is enlarging or something like that.
Got it.
So see here, translate I'm 0 pixel is giving, didn't move to x-axis, y-axis is moved to 200 pixel.
Okay.
Now let's delete this. This is the basic of the translate or transform. We'll try to use like this same concept, style. This concept you can try without using the React as well, but or you can use any framework of your choice.
This is a pure CSS, right?
Yeah, pure CSS. Now we'll go dive into the React JS a little bit. So we'll discuss like how we by changing this X, how it is going to this one direction.
Yeah,
So
I think because I have worked on React before, it looks okay, but I mean, if I'm seeing this for the first time, it looks so complicated.
Yeah, to get an understanding about the React, it is kind of intermediate. If you are not familiar, you can just follow with that, but you'll get some basic idea, but you may not be 100% comfortable what's going on. But if you have basic idea about React, for that matter, any framework, so it should be good enough. This is not very complex topic.
Yeah.
So the style is a HTML attribute usually used for giving inline styles. And this is like a little bit React thing. Instead of giving like double quote and start giving the CSS property directly, we are giving some object. And inside this object, we can pass any kind of this key value pair, a width, height, background color, and so on.
Okay.
In our case, we want to give transform as the key and translate as a value. But we initialize with the empty object. This is again a pure React concept.
Okay.
It is the React hooks. And I'm using useState to initialize the value with the empty object. So this will contain the value style and set style will be the method is exposed by React hooks to update or to change this style object value. And if you see that this is very simple HTML element, I've used like 3 sliders or input range element, you can say. So that will give this slider ability. I've not did much more styling. So I given this label as X, Y, and XY just to put this information like X, Y, and XY. And input type is range for all of these 3 is range. And minimum and maximum value are given 0 to 500. So you can keep on changing. You can give from 100 to 500 or 1000. You can keep on experimenting. And just to bind this value, I've defined a variable. Again, this is using React. So I'm using X and set X. So X will be if you change this X, then the value will be also reflected in the value. So that the slider will be helpful to the movement, What are the slider movement is showing?
Dynamic slider.
Dynamic slider. And on change, this is a method available as a DOM. On change, we are calling one function.
Okay.
So here handler X we called.
Okay.
So if you see that it take the input as events, and I'm doing some kind of setting X equal to E target dot value. A couple of things going on over here. This E target dot value is this value it represent. What is the updated value? 0 or 10 or 20 if you move the slider on.
Okay.
And I did plus because I just want to convert it to a number. Plus is a shortcut format to convert a string to a number.
Okay.
So this X value will be updated. Similarly, Y value I am updating and XY, right? I am updating X and Y. And this XY I am updating because I just want to reflect this slider over here. This variable seems to be redundant, but otherwise the slider won't move. Just to point this XY, I'm updating this value here.
Okay.
Okay. And if you see this change event HTML input type. So this is like I'm using a React as TypeScript. There is no hard and fast rule to the uses of TypeScript. We'll cover some other tutorials. But TypeScript is gaining a lots of traction and popularity among JavaScript developers.
Yeah.
Because it will help. Because it will help into write better code. And the important thing I like about the TypeScript, the most important thing I like, if you do E dot, it will give very good, like autocomplete.
Yeah.
And which property it will take, it will throw some errors, and that is the very helpful part. But you have to write some additional code, which I don't like.
Yeah.
Since JavaScript, it could have easily write E, but see, I have not remember all these change input, whatever the thing. I'll tell you how I arrived. See here, this is coming as error. So one shortcut you can do, if you're using a type project, like any you can do, the error will be gone, but this is not recommended, then you will have no use. So if you click E, right, and you go to this handle or this on change, so if you, it will take a little bit time to get yourself comfortable into this React TypeScript world.
Yeah.
But if you read closely, this event, it will talk about like which event, all.
Okay.
Initially all nonsense thing like on change, and you have to understand which this is the parameter it is expecting, then it will return type is void.
Okay.
This on change method, this is the input parameter, and it will take void or something like that. But it will take some time. It is taken some time for me to get used to this copy pasting thing. Then I can copy paste this thing.
Yeah.
there is no hard and fast rule, but it is better to get yourself comfortable into TypeScript. That is the reason I've used it.
Got it.
And the bulk of the interesting logic is done in this particular use effect method.
Okay.
And this is completely React specific. And it is a React.js, React hooks feature, and one of the most confusing one.
Yeah.
I really hate this. Till now, I didn't like this particular thing. But still, for this example, it seems to be helpful. See, if X changes, we have not done anything apart from setting these values. If Y changes, we have not done anything in setting this value. So we could have written the same translate logic in multiple places. But if you see this in any of the handler, wherever actually we are changing, we have not written any logic to translate or move this field. We just set the variable and forget about it. So the actually the code which is written to translate or doing transformation is written inside this use effect method.
Okay.
So use effect method will take two parameters. One is this callback function, lots of curly bracket and brackets, and I think if you count around 10-20 bracket will come from this. But this is not useful. I think lots of tool will provide this kind of utility quickly. The first parameter after this bracket, you write your function or your logic. And second argument is the dependency array. This is quite important. If X or Y will change, then this method inside this use effect will be executed.
Okay.
If X will change, it will execute it. If Y will change, it will execute it. If X, Y will both will change, it will execute it. It will take all the synchronization and it will take all which is changing first, second. So it will take all this, logic. So if you see that our set style, here I'm creating a new object. Because I don't want to retain that all the previous object. I just can override it. So I using an object like this is a CSS property transform. This is a string. I use the tick symbol. It's done a string interpolation.
Interpolation, yeah.
Just to concatenate between different strings. So translate, and this is a variable. $X, $Y. Rest all are CSS property. What do we use in just now? Translate X, 100X, Y, 200X, something like that. So by using this, we can achieve this. We set this property, and this style object, once it is updated, it is being updated here. And we are getting this result.
Got it.
So how's Kenny? How did you like today?
And this is good. Could you also print that value for X and Y next to that label, if it is possible? Like X and then show that amount also.
Hello, Ulpin.
I think in that. Sure.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. See, once we put React, we think we can just play around with that. See, only the X value is changing.
Yeah.
That's why even though I try to experiment with the simple CSS and property, right? I like to write something React code quickly. Or you can do in Svelte or Vue.js anywhere, whichever you're comfortable in.
Yeah.
But JavaScript, you have to write lots of code. You have to do document or get selector and blah blah thing, and
Yeah, plain.js might be.
In
just JavaScript, you will be writing a lot of code. It's good to know, but definitely not that useful when you're trying to experiment and get the result fast. So
but the DOM manipulation, other thing, it is like better to use like any framework nowadays, because there are several benefits. Earlier the jQuery was much popular, but nowadays you pick any framework, top 3, React, Vue.js and Svelte. I'm not telling Angular because Angular nobody uses, I believe. But sorry for that, guys. Angular, I was an Angular developer in the initial days. People are still
Yeah,
using
me
it.
also. I have done Angular 2, I think, when that came out.
I
But
started
after
from
that, no.
Angular 1, model view controller services like that.
Great.
See, if you go here, I think this is giving good visual, Kenny. The XY web value is changing. In the hello
Yeah.
also, if you can see.
Yeah.
This is 50. Oh,
Maybe we
wonderful.
can, is it possible to inspect that element and see that also in the CSS? I don't know how this code sandbox works, but maybe it is possible.
Maybe sometime later it would be.
Okay.
This the translate will change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Same thing that you
next
had
time we'll
tried.
try to experiment with it.
Yeah.
Okay, hope you guys learned something today. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.